Okay.
Good.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah. So, dude, tell us about the tournament.
the one that pretty much at Horror Gaming mirrored at Roswell, Georgia. Pretty much no one else showed up, amazingly. So it was me versus the organizer, who had a decimator and a raider. Link, if you want to include it, will be what I used.
Okay.
To say the least, I got decimated badly.
Hence the name of the ship, Decimator.
Oh yeah, the raider is also a very tough ship. Wasn't something I was used to fly against.
I don't think it's something many people are used to flying against, since epics aren't that common, at least to my knowledge.
Well, the main thing, if you play Epic, you have to have two mats side by side.
Yeah.
At the place I go at Heroic Gaming, they have tables set up for that, so people will do that a lot. It
Yeah.
was a fun experience.
I've
You
actually
know,
flown a Decimator myself a few times, and it is a powerful ship if you use it right.
I was not made aware of this until halfway through the game that if it's basically a whale, and if you get in front of it, everything it touches is destroyed. I was not made aware of that.
The Decimator or the Raider?
The Raider. If you get in the
Oh
way of
yeah.
any big ship like that,
Yeah.
it's an automatic, like, bye bye.
Yeah.
What experiences with big ships than Tyrant? Oh boy.
Huh?
Eh, eh,
You still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I know about Tyrant.
We are kind of
You
experiencing some
can
minor technical difficulties.
minor, major technical difficulties. Is that what you mean?
Minor, major, epic.
Hello?
There we go.
Hello.
Now it's
All right.
better.
Yeah. All right, Tyrant. What are your experiences with either flying or fighting against big ships?
Well, when you say big ships, are you talking large ships or epic ships? Because I've
Epic
got
ship.
plenty of,
Well, huge ships. Huge
I've got
ships. Like,
plenty of, yeah, I've got plenty of experience fighting as the Decimator because I've flown the Decimator in 2 tournaments, as well as plenty of other exhibitions.
well,
Then
that's
we've
not.
got huge ships where, yeah, I know the difference, Sebastian. Or
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so with huge ships, I actually do have both, but uh, I have yet to fly one or fly against them. It's just very difficult to set up an epic game where everyone has enough ships.
Oh yeah. Because I think it's 100 points immediately for any huge ships, and you have
Yeah.
to have room for two mats.
Yeah, and
Which fortunately,
I think standard epic tournament rules are like 300 point matches basically.
yeah,
Yeah, normally it is 300 points.
yeah. I don't know why they did. The organizer decided to do 300. I mean 200, but it worked.
Well, the nice thing about doing 200 is you end up being able to have more inclusivity with the tournament roster. We're like, for example, you were able to join. I know you haven't been playing for too long, so your collection's still growing. Where if it was 300 points, that might have been a little difficult for somebody who just
Yeah.
started playing. I mean, yeah, I remember when I first started, and you only have enough ships to field a 75-point list. That's what you play. It's just
Yep.
it's more important to actually play than be able to get to the 100 mark sometimes.
Oh yeah. I passed that a while ago when I got the. I can't remember if it's the Imperial Veterans or Imperial Aces, but when
Well, which
I
pack
got
was
one of
it? Like
those,
which
and
ships came in it?
well, I don't remember which one I got first. It was
Oh, okay.
either the yeah, but I have both.
Both either way
So
are fantastic buys.
Yeah.
I need to start flying interceptors more because I know they're amazing, but I need to play with them more
Oh yeah, I love the
because
interceptor
their
I
class
have.
can't. Well, I can fly really well, but I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with arc dodging yet because I've been heavily told they are arc dodgers. Don't try anything else. Don't try something stupid.
Yeah, it's just you know what, it really just takes practice, practice, practice with the interceptors because you know you can game plan all you want. You can stock out a or an
Yep.
interceptor that has 4 agility or even 5 agility, I think, with certain upgrades, and then you're just looking at you go into a game and you expect to dodge something, and all 4 or 5 of your agility dice or evade dice roll blanks, and you're just sitting
Hmm.
there going, "Really?"
It does have amazing mobility though, because only K turns are the U turns, aren't they?
Yeah,
K turns.
Koyo turns are the U-turns, and then there's a
Yeah,
Signor's loop on the newer ships, which is a bank that lets you turn around.
yeah. That is nice though. That I don't have to worry about constantly running into reds. Because I mostly play bombers, not all the time, but that's what I normally play. Bombers
Well, so
versus
so with the there was the new FAQ. Did you
yeah,
guys take a
I
look at
Yeah,
have.
that at
I
all?
think you told me about this like yesterday.
Yeah, so one of the big change with October's FAQ is that if you pull a red maneuver while you are stressed, the opponent no longer chooses your maneuver. Now you just automatically do a two straight maneuver. Big change.
Yeah, another thing I'm glad they finally cleared up was if you somehow put down your dial and it's between two things, your opponent chooses which one.
Oh,
If
they
you
did.
put
They finally clarified that.
yes, that was in the same Q&A.
Huh? I've never heard about that. Like that being a problem
No, this
before.
was new.
No, like I never heard about that being even a problem before.
Well, I don't think they ever said what you were supposed to do at that time. Like if you put down your dial and it was between like a three straight or three pink, that kind of stuff.
Huh?
The dial like that kind of. I'll post a shot if I can find it.
I mean, you'd think people would
But
just make sure that it was like on a certain move
well,
to
some of
begin
my
with.
dials are really loose, so it could slip when I put it down. Like it happens.
Ah, yeah.
It's not the worst.
All my dials are like really tight for some reason. Probably because I don't really use them that much, so they don't like get turned as much to loosen up.
Yeah, it's not the worst. Yeah, I got the Q&A thing that you posted.
Yeah. So,
It's it's good.
go on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. Like I said, it was a good term. Well, I'm not even sure if I can even refer to it as a term, but it was a good time for me to actually learn how to deal with them. And it was annoying, really annoying. But at least I got the main thing for me is just micromanaging every ship. It just is not something I do well with. Wish I could.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't
Uh,
call it a tournament so much as an official exhibition.
it was just like I said, it was a really good demonstration of how to go against them. But I would not want to do it again unless I had like maybe a little bit more shit.
Or at least more, like, training with the ships you have.
Well, yeah, but like I said, I was used to 100-point games, not 200. If I was, that was the main thing.
Ah. And you didn't have a huge ship, like an epic ship of your own, did you?
No, I'm probably not going to invest in one for a while. I feel like the next bigger ship I would get would probably be the Lambda shuttle,
Ah, the
but
space
that's not a
cow.
huge ship.
Biz cow.
Also, Palpatine. I get to do what I want.
I don't think he
Do
comes with that
all.
anymore. I think
No,
he only comes with the
Palpatine.
Raider.
Palpatine
What?
never came with the shuttle.
You
Palpatine
didn't?
comes with. Nope. Palpatine comes in the Imperial Raider, which is the epic ship.
Vader comes in the Space Cow.
Yep.
But I always thought Palpatine came in it too. Like,
Yep, you're right. It is Raiders. Do not want to buy another. I don't. That the Raiders, like I said, that was a good ship to go against, but I don't think I would ever fly it.
Well, it's just a matter of being able to play epic. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
have to take the initiative and plan something ahead of time on a gaming night or something. Say,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
next
Like,
next week we're gonna let's play an epic game. We both of us have
oh yeah.
epic ships that we never get to use, so let's play one.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
Yeah.
or the fun thing that you can do is when you've got multiple people, you can throw out, do a 2v2 kind of game where that way you can field epic ships and not feel so bad.
I'm just trying to see if I can find a photo of inside the heroic, just to show you. Like, we have plenty of. There's plenty of. Like, we pretty much take out the entire store during X-wing, so pretty much there's room for any game we want.
yeah, and like all these links we're
Photo.
gonna like post in the description below and all that, so don't worry about it.
Yep.
But and
Um.
yeah, like if I mean, I want the epic ships myself. I mean, not so much the Gazanti or the Rebel transport, but like the Tantive and the Raider. Because I mean, even when I'm not using them in play, they just make really nice decorations, like on a desk or a
Oh
mantle or
yeah.
something, because of how well detailed they are.
Oh yeah. And it's something I might do if I get more money. So below is an example of what this was during their grand opening. So pretty much
Nice.
the back tables in the very back, those hold, I believe, 4 tables that can hold an X-wing mat normal. The ones closer up have room for 2 mats, or you could just do a single one.
Very
Nice.
cool.
And
It's a
then like
very
the
nice.
TIE pilot or shadow trooper in the like in the back
Yes.
there.
Oh yeah, this was during their grand opening. This was before I officially like got really involved with 501st,
Nice.
and it was a very nice grand opening. It actually started raining, and I forgot these guys can't feel rain. Like when they're in helmets and etc., it's actually difficult for them to know when it's raining.
Yeah.
But it's a really. But another great thing about it is if you come in during X-wing night, which is Monday, you don't have to pay for a table fee.
Yeah, like I go to this other place, well, not as often as I used to. Like that's only like maybe a 20, 30 minute drive from my house, and like they have like game nights pretty much every night of the week, and
Yep.
like they'll just like they have this huge like space in the back, and like just for that, it's like 'cause it's
Okay.
basically a warehouse that they just moved a shop into.
Ooh, that's a good use. That's a really nice use of space.
Yeah, and so like they have like X-wing like on Wednesdays, they have Magic the Gathering on Fridays. Like it's just
Everyone
epic there.
has to have some magic.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a staple of all good hobby stores.
That's why there'll never be Friday Night X-wing because of Friday Night Magic.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
remember.
yeah. We're actually going. The owner who pretty much the X-wing group. We're pretty much the main like beta testers for the owner's ideas, like give opinions. He's thinking about merging Imperial Salt and Armada onto the same night as X-wing, and that would actually be really fun.
Yeah,
You know,
the
I'll try out Armada.
Yeah, I've been to game stores where they hold this one store I went to for a little bit back in New Jersey had a Wednesday night kind of
Just
it was basically Star Wars night. It was Armada, Armada, X-wing, and Imperial Assault.
yeah, like
So I mean, and you had the back room was basically dedicated to Star Wars, and maybe you got the one person playing, or the one pair playing Warhammer. But besides that, it's everybody else is
Yeah,
running something on X-wing or Armada or Imperial Assault.
Yeah,
yeah,
like when I went there, it was mainly like only X-wing. Like that's what the main night was. So, like pretty much everyone there was
yeah,
playing X-wing, except for like maybe the one like or two, three people who were playing Armada in the kind of middle there. So like
yeah.
that was nice to see like kind of a combination of both games because I remember watching like a video of kind of around the time that Armada was released, and the guy who created both said Armada is basically X-wing for more advanced players.
Armada, it's pretty much because X-wing is to scale for dogfighting. This is to scale for capsule.
Well, I mean, the thing with Armada as well is it's a much slower game.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
it, it has a it has a very different pace to it. Like one of the interesting rules that I found when I was observing a game of Armada was that when two squadrons of fighters are engaged together, they stick to each other and then they just fight until one of them is destroyed.
Huh.
Or
well,
you
how long does
or
that
you could
take?
take or you can take like one of them can take an action basically instead of attacking, you're attempting to retreat, and then you can move them again. So I just found rounds. I mean, they could be stuck together for the rest of the game.
Well, how long did you feel like a game would last? Like, how long did it take?
Uh, oh, the at least that game that I watched.
Because I can't say there's a standard time for games like that because I did spend over 3 hours one night at X-wing playing X-wing. 3 hours took 3 hours for us to even hit each other.
Wow.
It was ended up winning from a proton bomb, so that was good. Those are no, actually the same organizer that I faced against with the previous game. Pretty much he destroyed me one time when I almost destroyed everything he had with a single proton bomb. It
Wow.
was pretty much I don't know the names of all the scum and villainy like small fighters, but pretty much he has the like dual laser cannons, the one that's like roll 3 dice or something, and you can take a maximum of 1 damage. Are you
Ah.
familiar with that at all?
It sounds familiar. Like I think I might have like a copy of it from like one of my Imperial ships, or maybe not, and I'm just
And
thinking of something else. It could be Mangler Cannon you're thinking of, or something.
I'm checking it right
Which
now.
wait, which one were you talking about? I didn't hear you.
It's one that's pretty much I think you roll 3 dice, and you pretty much have two chances with that to do like you roll 3 dice, and if any of them hit, no matter how much like hits you roll, you only do 1 damage, but you get to do it twice. And this is instead of your normal
Oh,
attack.
you're talking about the twin laser turret.
That's it.
Ah.
Yeah, that was it was stacked on like really low level, like pilot level scum and villainy ships. I need to
The
learn the
Y
name.
wings,
No, not
the
those. The
Hawks.
ones. Let me look it up. I'm on the wiki right now. I I
Is it
saw them in the
the Spice
Forces of
Runner?
Corruptions. I don't know. I only know them from the Forces of Corruption RTS
Oh, the
from.
Star Vipers.
I think that sounds like
Star
it.
Vipers can equip a TLT.
Can or cannot.
They cannot. They don't have a
What
turret
is
slot.
it?
The M3A doesn't have a turret slot. The Mist Hunter ship, this I forget what that's called, but that can't have a turret either.
Oh no, it wasn't the.
It's
All I know
it's
is
it's either
that
it's
was
either the Hawk or the Y wing as far as low level or low pilot turret equipable ships.
I'm trying to get them up. It wasn't the Hawk. What was the other one you said?
The Y wing.
The Y wing. Yeah.
Wednesday. That was probably it then. But it was pretty much non-stop that, which is something I'm yet to learn how to. But stuff like that's another thing I love about X-Wing so much is that you take a simple concept like this, but then you get so much addition to it. You can do so much.
Well, see, so TLTs used to be a very powerful staple in the meta for a long time. We're talking pre-auto thrusters days because essentially auto thrusters was released to essentially counter TLT, which is why on tournament lists you see auto thrusters all over the place on aces because it keeps them alive. The thing with
Yeah,
TLTs is that they just punch out such consistent damage that their point values are very very much worth it. I mean, to put it bluntly,
I'm yet.
they're very cost effective for what you get.
Oh, yeah. I'm yet to get auto thrusters though, which I did finally get pushed to the limit, which is a card I'm really happy for.
Yeah, auto thrusters is only on the Star Viper right now, the Star Viper expansion. So you have a lot of people
That's
who
the ship of.
basically purchase Star Viper expansions just for that card. I was one of them. You know, I mean, I
That
have
what
one. Of,
that's the,
my goal is to have one of everything anyway, but you know that was the reason why I bought that ship earlier than I normally would have, is because it had that such a good card in it.
Yeah,
yeah.
frankly, I'd probably just buy it like online because I don't
No.
field scum and villainy. But I mean, I do have to admit the Star Viper is a really nice ship. I do like its design, but it's just not something that I would really ever play.
Well, what
Well,
do you mostly play as?
I mainly play as either my Decimator or my Fire Spray with a TIE Fighter and or a TIE Interceptor flying support.
Like I mostly play either one bomber, normally not Tomax, Breen with Backdraft, and there's one more, Reimer. Those three are rating points for a build. Just because being able to use Crackshot over and over again is amazing.
Ah,
And also having Reimer being able to detonate whatever the hell he wants at any range is something I just love.
yeah, I've never flown a bomber before, but it's really on my short list to get, like that and the Punisher as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've looked at these cards, I've looked like at their stats, their upgrades, all that, and they just seem like
Oh,
such nice ships to field.
they look like fun. I do
well,
not like the idea.
the Punisher is a lot of fun to fly, but unfortunately, it's not cost effective at the
Let
moment.
me see.
They did get a slight bump with the October FAQ change to cluster missiles, because now cluster missiles are also on they're on the same rules as proximity mines, where they hit both hits and crits now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But what's nice is they technically cover a larger because it's a wider token that you put down, and you're putting down three of them as opposed to one with the proximity mine. So my guess is they might be, looking into the future, they might be making a change to proximity mine at some point, because right now, if you really think about it, cluster missiles or cluster mines are much better than the prox mines now.
Well, yeah, it is only 1 point more expensive, and it does take up the same slot. But it will depend on what you want to do, because you can't roll out card because it could be useful in situations.
Yeah, I've only
Yeah, I
used
guess the point cost may make up for the difference that the token size has, because those
Yeah.
I mean, again, the main thing that's different with cluster mines compared to proximity mine is if you run over a proximity mine, you only get to roll once, and you're rolling 3 dice. Whereas with cluster mines, if their maneuver template or ship base ends up over one
It,
or over two or more of them, you're rolling 2 dice for each template that was rolled over.
which is
So
really nice.
it's
It's a game ball.
essentially adds on itself, which is not. Yeah, exactly. You're very rarely going to have when you deploy them. At least with what's the one Punisher's name is
1 sec, I found
uh,
it.
just Death Rain. Yeah,
Oh, the punt.
Death
Okay.
Rain. Because he can throw it out in the front, so you're never not going to hit with just one of the cluster mines. So essentially, you're getting at least four dice on a action every time you use it. So that could be seen. Again, it's nice that they're trying to continue to include these ships that we're really seeing 0%
You said
play in tournament or in tournaments. It's really I mean, we're still waiting for that X-wing fix too. The original X-wing still just does not have anything overly powerful enough for it to be included in the list outside of Biggs.
well, yeah. Biggs is one of those pilots that I was the most annoyed with because everyone I used it was amazing with it. Which he's a great pilot to have, but I've never seen anyone else use it. Which
Well, and
is not something that you should do.
speaking
Yeah,
of Biggs, now he also got a change, somewhat of a nerf actually in the FAQ,
well, yeah, that's
because
the target lock, isn't it?
well, so if you have something that can shoot at if you have something that can shoot at Biggs, and you have a weapon that can only shoot at a different target, and you choose to fire that weapon goes off normally and hits that other target normally, because Biggs is technically not a valid target. So
Mm-hmm.
to give you two examples of what can hit and what can't hit. Let's say you have a bomber, and the bomber's jousting with Biggs and an A-wing, and you have a target lock on the A-wing. If you go to use proton torpedoes on the A-wing, you get to successfully fire those proton torpedoes because Biggs is not a
That would
valid
be
target.
breaking.
What?
That wouldn't be. That would make no sense. That's the main thing. It makes no sense that how can it intercept a target lock that it doesn't have? That's the main thing.
Right,
It's just-
exactly. Now, here's a tricky part though. Is let's say you give that bomber Deadeye, and now you go to use a focus token. Well, now they're both valid targets, and now you have to shoot at Biggs. So that's a really interesting change up with how those cards interact with each other.
I mean, it makes sense
it's
to me.
really interesting now. Oh yeah,
Because
it's
the
good.
target lock is computer programming. Deadeye is just an inherent talent if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Right,
Can't
absolutely.
say
Again, it's a very interesting interaction between the cards and pilot abilities.
I just realized how I could defeat Biggs easily. Just target lock anything that he's trying to protect, and just throw down anything that will cause, like the assault missile, because that will cause damage to anyone in range 1. I just realized that.
That would be nice, but I mean, you would probably be the brunt of all their force if you do that. Like
That is
this, like
true.
if you're flying like a TIE Punisher and like you've got like a full loadout, like supposedly like in a epic match where it's not too big a problem if you do that, you would probably be the main target if Biggs was in that match because he because the TIE Punisher could take out both Biggs and basically anything Biggs was trying to protect easily.
Hmm. Yeah, for the most part, I mainly think about like 100-point standard games. That's mostly how I think about stuff.
Well, that's how it should always be thought of.
Yeah.
I was actually
Normally.
when I was using the Fraps squad jammer. I don't know how I did this, but for the first 100 points, I was somehow, without realizing it, exactly got to 100 points, and I was actually surprised and really wish I could have like just kept it at that. It's become so much to use,
Yeah,
but
once you like really get into the squad building aspect, you'll find how easy it is to actually meet the 100 point mark, if not go over it.
I'm not. Oh yeah, definitely not. It's mostly that because it's 200 points, I feel like I'm stretching everything so thin. Like if you want to take one sec, like take
Right. Well, when you were building a 200 point list, yeah, that's gonna.
you know, like, I just pretty much to get as close as I could. I ended up just. It's a good thing for me to do, but it's just I stacked everything with like hull upgrades and shield upgrades, stuff like that.
Uh,
They're really nice to have though. Like I'll probably throw them on like pretty much anything that feels like it could be vulnerable. Also, so what's your opinion about the special forces time?
I don't really have an opinion on it yet since I haven't seen it like or heard anything really about it so much. But I mean, frankly, from the sound of it, I wouldn't field it really because I'm just gonna probably end up fielding my regular TIE FOs to begin with.
So what about you?
Yeah, I haven't
Adam?
actually flown. I haven't actually flown the that wave yet.
I don't even
Oh yeah,
think that
that
ship is
So
out
I
yet,
don't.
technically.
no, the First
No,
Order
they
Special
just. Yeah,
Forces.
they just released it. The TIE
Okay.
SF.
But
It
yeah,
did.
I've been
It did just come out along with the Fang Protector fighter and the Phantom Cruiser.
yeah,
That's the one with the mobile auxiliary um, arc where it can change where it fires.
yeah. I got the Special Forces tie probably a week or two after I got it, and that's actually something I've been using a lot of. Mostly Backdraft, who if you're using auxiliary fire, and we pretty much make the joke now that you have to shoot out of the butt, you add a crit to it, guaranteed.
Nice.
So it's pretty much a lot of K turns. Well, not always, but a lot of turns. So I'm always facing the back, which is really nice. And he has a lot of stuff you can add to him. Let me see if I can get this
But yeah,
up.
like that
But
whole like
he's able.
thing you were talking about with the rear arc kind of reminds me of the Arc 170's title card, which states which half of it states when attacking from your auxiliary firing arc, you may change one of your focus results to a crit result. So
Yes, but the main thing about this is that it adds it. It does not change any dice. It adds it. It just simply adds it.
Yeah, really, the challenge in general with the Thai Special Forces is that in order to attack with the auxiliary firing arc, you have to shoot out of the front.
No, you don't. No,
Yes,
it's
you
only
do.
the back.
No, in order to shoot out of the back, you have to be able to shoot out of the front. That's the way the special ops training is worded.
Oh boy, have I not? Have we been reading?
So
Wow.
so here's the special ops training. So when attacking with a primary weapon from your primary firing arc, you may roll one additional attack die. If you do not, you may perform an additional attack from your auxiliary firing arc.
I don't know why. I don't remember that ever being an issue whenever I'm playing. Because we're all like not very well equipped for that. But it's
That's the tricky thing with them. So like they're really good when they're in the middle of everything because you're getting your two attacks every time.
yeah, that's another reason why I would fly it because I always have the tendency to kind of skirt the edge of the map.
I do that occasionally with bombers, just because I never want to fly them too close to the sun.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't like the center of the map because usually that's where all the meteors are, and since I've always fly like a large ship with some smaller support, at least for my Imperials, um, that's always going to be a problem for me if I'm trying to maneuver a fire spray or decimator through an asteroid field in the center.
Yeah.
And because I mean, they don't really have K turns or anything half the time, so I can't just do that with them. Like I have to kind of like bank them a lot or sharp turn them to turn them around.
Well, you have to plan them. That's the thing about ships like that. You can't just go willy nilly with flying them.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's why I try and stay away from the center. And if I'm trying to use like my tight interceptor to fly support, I'm gonna try and keep it as close to that to my big ship as possible, so that way it actually is support.
Yeah. I'm yet to fly in like formation, quote unquote, where you pretty much take a lot of ties or a lot of anything, just fly them in formation. That's something I might want to soon.
Yeah, flying in
You
formation.
should. It's really good practice, actually, for flying in general.
Just to learn, okay, so if you don't overestimate what a move will do, because forgetting how much of a difference between a slight like a bank is to a turn is something I need to get my head around more. But every game I play, the more you learn.
Yeah, and just make sure you actually, if you're gonna fly in formation, like for every ship, just do the same maneuver. Like don't
Oh
have
yeah,
like one of your edge ones do a sharp turn and then have like the one next to it do a bank, because I've like kind of done that myself with like my support ships and my big ships, and they've ended up colliding with each other.
yeah.
Well,
It was.
there's plenty of resources out there
Oh yeah,
that can teach you um, the basics of formation flying. Because actually, the best, like when you're flying ties, the best formation is actually a pinwheel, where they're slightly staggered, as opposed
oh
to
yeah. Just like
just
straight
line,
line, like
yeah, as opposed to straight lined up. Because if you straight line up and you do a 3 turn with both of them, they'll actually run into each other, the two front ones.
yeah, yeah. That's what I've noticed whenever because a lot of the guys I play with like goofing around when it comes to trying new things. That was something I noticed from them. And it makes sense. Like you, and if you start
And
breaking off,
it really hurts you when you because that's kind of the risk you take when you're flying a formation like that. Is that when you as soon as you run into one of yourselves, and you now all of a sudden you've got one guy that's out of formation and he's just kind of in the way with everyone else. It really throws a wrench into what you were trying to accomplish in the first place.
Yeah, I remember like the first time I've ever tried flying in any sort of formation was like about maybe a month when like after I got the game or something, and I was like still trying to figure out actually like learn how to play and all that. So I was like doing like small exhibitions like with my family, my friends, whatever, just so I could like learn how to fly and all that. And
yeah,
what I did was I was doing like a 3 ship thing of Darth Vader's TIE Advance with 2 wingmen slightly behind him, and like that, and I just kept like doing the same maneuvers for all of them, and sometimes they actually did keep crashing into each other because I would either
yeah.
offset it a little or maybe pick like a wrong speed.
It it's definitely a like once you get the hang of it, I think it'll be way easier. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So what exactly are you guys looking forward to the most in Wave 10 and Heroes of Resistance?
In Heroes of the Resistance, I'm actually kind of looking forward to uh probably Sabine's TIE Fighter a little, just because of like Rex's crew card. Because I mean, I feel like that would actually be kind of nice in some of the other Rebellion ships.
Oh, yeah, that seems to happen a lot. Is where you'll get a ship but for a certain card.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I got my decimator. Was I wanted Yazan Izzard, so I could try and fly her with either my Cast Scarlet or my Boba Fett in my Fire Spray.
There is a
Yeah.
certain upgrade card. I'm trying to find it that one of the guys in the group I play with really wants, but there's only one of. I can't find it right now. I think it's the Astromech.
Well, there's a lot of astromechs.
Well, I'm talking
Yeah.
about the Heroes of Resistance.
Uh, but yeah,
I'm
I just pulled up
trying to find it.
Captain Rex's crew card, and it says after you perform an attack that does not hit, you may assign one focus token to your ship, which would like be really good, like say an Arc 170 that doesn't have the best like firing power or something because it's only got 2 attack dice.
Yeah, kind of lackluster.
Yeah, because I just few days ago kind of created like a nice kind of dream squadron um, that would be nice. Like it's basically a Xena. It's I call it Blast from the Past because it's 4 Bandit Squadron Z95 Headhunters with ion pulse missiles. Um,
Ooh.
and it's got and then a Shara Bane and Arc 170 with R2D2 marksmanship, Rex, Alliance overhaul, and vectored thrusters.
Sounds like a very, very suitable
Yeah, because I mean,
work.
the Clone Wars ships actually know what they're doing as opposed to some of the more newer ships. Because I mean,
Which
look at the Arc 170 compared to the TIE Special Forces. The with the TIE Special Forces, you have to do this certain thing in order to fire out of your auxiliary. With the Arc 170, you can just fire out of your auxiliary, and if you have the Alliance Overhaul title, which costs nothing, it just makes it that much more powerful by adding, by I mean not by adding, but by turning one of your focus results into a critical result. And if you fire out of your primary arc, you can roll an additional attack die.
there's just so much that you can combine together, and it is nice. I don't think I'll get to Arc 170 because, like I said, I'm mostly Imperial.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of fly both because I don't really go up to that store that often to play X-wing. So occasionally I'll have like some friends come over to my house and we'll just play like exhibitions there. So I need to kind of balance out both of my my squads, so that way it's a fair match between both of us.
Oh, do your friends not have X-Wing at all?
I have one friend who has X-wing, and he lives about 2.5 hours away from me because he just moved.
Woo, that stinks.
I mean, it's not that bad. We do like see each other kind of quite often, because his birthday was just recently, and so I bought him the X-wing core set,
Okay.
and
Does
so
he would want to come on the podcast?
yeah, he was the one I was trying to get to come on here, but
Oh, okay. Issues.
yeah, issues arose, so he couldn't make it. But
All
hopefully
right.
in the future episodes he will.
Mm. Yeah, unfortunately, none of my friends are very into Star Wars as a whole, and try and say, "Oh, you gotta spend money on model ships to fly around," is not an easy task.
Yeah, I've actually
So, but
not too long ago.
convenient,
Go on, actually.
yeah, conveniently, the heroic where I play is like a 15-minute drive, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be so
So
bad
it's
for
fun.
like me to get to like my store if I actually drove. I don't really have a license yet or anything, so I can't. So
You should get it.
I'm gonna get it soon enough. I just didn't. I don't. I just never had the time to like take any of the classes or the tests or anything. But back to the subject at hand of X-wing.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
So that we can't derail.
yeah, I just don't want to derail too much. But yeah, like
All
I've actually
right.
had like a friend come over not too long ago, and I actually like taught her how to play X-wing, and she said it was fun. I mean,
Hooray!
it's just one of those games that you don't want to buy because it's so expensive. But like
Well, it's not
you,
Armada.
no,
It
like
is. It is not that expensive,
That's
guys.
what I'm saying. It's not Armada.
You you don't know. Like I was saying the other night, man. You don't know expensive until you play Warhammer 40K.
oh, I know how expensive
Oh, I'm
Warhammer
making
is.
the. I already make the jokes about that.
Yeah, no, like, but I'm saying like it's one of those games that nobody like wants to like get into because of. I mean, like a single X-Wing expansion's $15. The core set's 50. But like I mean, like
No,
once you
wait,
actually,
what?
yeah, the core set is $50.
No, it isn't.
I just bought it for my friend. It's like 45, $50.
I got it for
Where you?
$30
Yeah,
at
where are
the
you paying
close
$50?
California,
Yes.
everything is expensive here.
Is it the shipping
It's
or
not
something?
No,
$50.
it's not. It's like with tax and everything.
Well, seriously, like, yes, it's I spent $30 because I bought it at the store, which I prefer, but $22 on Amazon.
Yeah, well, 50, it's like 50, $45 in store. Because it's like
I
45 on the website, like the official website. So
Yeah, official websites are never the best place to buy stuff.
yeah, I didn't buy from there. I bought it from like the hobby store I go to. I mean, so I don't blame them. I've already got both the core sets, so. But I mean, like, I mean, it's just one of those games
Jeez.
that's really fun to play, but just really hard to get into.
Well, just if you don't have a group, this is me with any board playing. No one wants to play, so
Yeah,
would I invest in? If you don't have people to play with, there's no to invest. I've
yeah.
found that.
Like, I mean, I bought this game like on a whim, hoping that like my friends would play with me, but fact of the matter is they didn't because they didn't want to take forever learning how to play. But I mean, like
It didn't take me that.
once you really get into it, it doesn't take you that long.
It clicks very much, saying, "Oh, this makes sense. This makes sense."
Yeah,
And
you
then I'm
turn
all
this
like,
dial
"Why
to
didn't I
go
learn
this
about this
way,
sooner?"
corresponding this, and then just it. I mean, all the information's basically right in front of you. It's just a matter of putting it all together in your head.
Well, it's also, are you willing to like want to deal with like management in the sense of the I call it like chess mapping, where you have to determine a lot in advance. That's the term I use is just chess mapping out what you're going to do in certain situations, and not everyone is good at that.
Yeah. I mean, I took 2 years of chess club in elementary school, and like that's probably why I like this game so much is the strategy to it, the advanced, like
It's
just
like chess if you had add-ons.
yeah, it's basically Star Wars chess with violence, sort of.
Well, there's a lot. Like for myself, I'm still pretty damn good at chess. Just no one will ever play me because I'm really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually like trying to get like something started in my town, like for an X-wing game night, hoping that more people will like show up, figure out like, hey, my friends are playing this. It's not that far of a walk or a drive or whatever. I might as well get into this,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, for
hopefully
my
like bring more people to the game, and then just make the game that much more fun if there's more communities to actually play it that aren't so sparsed out.
well, the thing for me at least is I pretty much live in like Marietta, Georgia, where we technically don't even have a city hall. Kind of weird, but I don't know what the experience is like in actual town. So I don't know what's legal. Like posting up signs, I don't know if that's legal. Like,
It, from what I've seen, even if it is, no one really cares in my town at least. Because like you can't really throw a stone at a light. You can't really throw like a stone without like seeing a light pole that has like either remains of packaging tape or duct tape or
yeah,
other
that's
pieces
what
of
I'm
paper
thinking.
on them.
Yeah.
So
Did we lose Tyrant?
No, I'm here.
All right, just I don't remember the last time you even said anything.
but yeah, I mean like if you can get the community, if you can get people to actually play the game, you can build the community, and then you can make the game just that much more fun.
Or if you go out when you go out to college, I'm guessing there will probably be people there that play, and that would probably be a better choice of time rather than thinking that you can organize something before you leave. Just what I think.
Yeah, because I mean, I know like when I like move away to go to college or whatever, that I'm going to be taking my X-wing with me for sure. I'm not going to be leaving it like in my room at like my house or whatever. No, I'm going to be taking it with me because I know it's going to be something that I'm going to want to play like in my pastime, like in my spare time.
All right. Well, yeah, college is a place where you'll find a lot of people with similar interests. Unlike my 300-ish student friend, not friend, people in my school that are first to 12.
Uh,
So the amount of selection for people with similar interests is less than none.
yeah, I remember in like just this last year of high school for me, I like tried to start like an engineering club and almost nobody showed up and the like the two or three people who didn't take it seriously.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like
So how many people are in your school then? Well,
uh
were.
maybe a few hundred if not like a few thousand. Like
It's a big difference.
like no like it was like either
Yeah,
like one or 2,000 at most, like four or five
yeah.
hundred at least. I never really cared about the numbers because I was like in the no because I was in the loner group. Like I'd always hang out in the library talking to the librarian there because
No,
he
I mean like that makes sense.
yeah, because like he was like a big like Star Wars like nerd like me, you, Tyrant. Like he understood what I was saying about this kind of stuff. Like at the end of the year, we actually took a small field trip to like a kind of local Star Wars museum here.
Is it? Please don't tell me it's Rancho Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it is.
I want to go. Take me.
It's impressive.
That's not some kind of small. You can't say that's a small trip. Damn.
It's not like in a big like building like a warehouse or
No, I've
anything.
seen.
It's on like farmland type of thing. But it is a big
Let's say,
building, just not huge.
yes, I know. I understand how it works. It's just I really want to go.
Yeah.
But when you say it's a small trip, you can't say that. That's a really massive thing to be able to actually go to.
Well, also like no, like I mean small trip. Like only like four or five of us went.
How long were? Isn't that like a 3-hour tour or something though?
We went after hours, like after school.
No, I mean like was the tour guided?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say that's probably one of the most crucial things about that. I need to get over there eventually.
But yeah, I mean, as you'll, as you as you go into college and all that, you'll definitely find that
A lot of people are just saying that
people
shit.
are looking out to do more things or try newer things as opposed to high school.
I
Yeah.
would, I
So
definitely
you
can
just
see
have
that.
to, yeah, you'll just have to set that up when you get there.
Or
Plus, not to mention, it does look really good on a resume as a hot, as a
Like as
if
a
you did ever
hobby, as
put
a
that on there,
pastime.
you know, because that shows leadership skills, that shows management skills. So,
are you talking about wait? Are you talking about engineering or X-wing? 'Cause I think
oh,
I lost.
X-wing because like it's a
Okay,
it's because it's a good
yeah,
strategy game. Like if you're really good at like chess or something, you'd probably want to put it on like your resume, like to show like how focused you can be at something, like how you can like plan things out in advance,
yeah.
and how good
Oh
of
yeah.
a
because remember, and I mean, realize that how difficult it can be for some people to maintain concentration on a singular task for an extended period.
yeah.
Was
Would
there
be
something?
surprised. So, oh
No,
yeah,
no.
I've been out of college for a few years now.
Okay. Well, you've never made that clear. Anyway, but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going off to
Well, you
college.
never asked.
Well, we were talking about school in college. We were talking about schools, and you never. That's why I was like, "Are you even there?" That's why I
Yeah.
was like that.
It's all good.
Oh, yeah. All right.
But yeah, I mean, and now it. What's really interesting is like I just moved to Chicago, and like I'm still still looking around my area for for the best places to play, and we actually there's a place that hosts regionals, which is about 20 minutes from
Nice.
me. So I'll have to check that out at some point. Um,
But yeah,
but
like
Yeah,
I
I
you
mean,
know
that,
I
you
also
can't
I
like
also
get.
run I also run a board game night on out of my out of it's called living room board games kind of thing. And so, I will probably run one night where I run kind of an introduction to X-Wing and just kind of, have everybody, probably a group of like 6 people, just, do like a little 3-on-3. Everybody gets 1 or 2 ships to pilot, and, you just go at it and just have fun flying. Because that's the most important part about, the casual side of the game is just to have fun.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
just like casually.
I mean, like, who honestly cares if you win or lose, like in an exhibition match, because it doesn't count against you, like in a tournament. It doesn't count against you in any really sort of way. It's just for fun, just to hone your skills and all that. Like, make new friends, just playing a very great game, honestly.
Well, and the fly casual statement really has caught on even into the tournament levels, because like in the end we're all there to just have a good time and fly spaceships on a 2D board. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And we there are some people that go out there and they just wholly expect that oh, I built this list, I am entitled to win, or I am
I have
going to
experience. I
win
have more
no
experience.
matter what. Or yeah, I've got more experience, so I am totally going to win. And that's just not how it works. And you see it less in X-wing, because we have this fly casual motto that is just so pervasive, like in a good way. It catches on because it's fun, as opposed to other games where you have the people that come in, oh, I've got better cards than you, or I've got more experience playing this war game, and they just go in and like they just pound you into the dirt, and they're laughing in your face. Or they if they do get beat, now it's all, oh, you cheated.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah.
it's like
there's really no
how
way
it's
to
like
cheat.
Trump saying, "Oh, if I lose the election, the election's rigged." Well, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
No, this game is just meant to be
I
casual fun. Like, I mean, what exactly do you even win if like you win the world tournaments? A new set of dice,
hmm.
new like range rulers, like what?
And a medal.
Well, then again,
You do get a medal. You do get a
I
shiny
do really
medal.
enjoy. Well, you could actually get some dice that are actually legal, other than the ones that you had to buy from like Fantasy Flight. That is something I would want. But you know how the dice that they get, you can only use like ones that you get from tournaments or ones that you buy from like Fantasy Flight directly. So that's one of the main prizes that I think a lot of people would want.
But yeah,
Well,
Just
I
like
mean, those prizes increased in value when FFG earlier in the year came out and said, "Oh, well, we don't mind so much at store tournaments, but at regionals and higher levels than that, if you're not using FFG tokens, dice, um, range rulers, anything like that, if your opponent complains about it or the TO wants to enforce it, he can say you have to use a different one.
Yeah. Like now I have
I mean,
another set of acrylic.
I mean, and I understand that from a business point because FFG wants the rewards. They're giving out this extra stuff, and if you're sitting there and then you go online and just buy something that's custom made by somebody else, while that custom made thing is technically size appropriate, it fits the game perfectly. Like it doesn't change anything. The problem is FFG's items, their products, don't get promoted by not being played. It would be the same thing as if you flew a list and didn't put any ships on the board. You just used the bases.
Yeah.
It would be
Well,
literally
I
the
never
same.
fly. You mean
Oh,
flying with proxies? You mean flying with proxies? You mean?
well, yeah. I mean, you could fly. I mean, that's one of the things too. But I mean, I'm just saying in general, if you're just flying with the base and not the ship, technically that's illegal. I mean, there was one guy in a tournament I was in where his ship was having difficulty staying on the pin. I guess his pin was damaged, and eventually, like halfway through the tournament, his pin broke,
Ooh.
and so they had to pause. Like basically had to pause the game. Like his opponent was real good about it, letting him basically go and repair it. But the TO wasn't. It's not like it needs to be on there. The only time that it's okay for the ship to not be on there is when you have the situation they're bumping.
Yeah.
If that happens a lot with the Decimator because the Decimator has such a wide profile that a lot of ships will, that if they're at the same height, they'll technically be running into each other even though their bases aren't touching. So I
It
had
just
that
becomes a
one.
mess.
Yeah, I had that in one game where the other guy was like, "Just go ahead and just take the ship off." It's like we know where the ship is, and it's not damaged, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
So like
Um.
we've done I've been in situations like that before, and again, the fly casual model comes in, and it's like, well, is it really a big deal? To FFG it is. To your opponent, it might not be because it's not how you want to win a game. Is by his ship fell off the base, so now he loses that
Yeah.
ship. And it's like I don't want to win that way. I want to win where I get to shoot it and blow it up.
Yeah. Unless it flies off the board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't
So.
affect anything. That yeah.
So I was looking online. Fantasy Flight does not sell replacement. More. What's it called again? Not ranges, but pretty much movement things.
Yeah.
They do not sell them.
Yeah, you
So saying that,
have to purchase
so that's a
another
little
core
bit
set.
like, which, like I said, now I have 2 acrylic sets, which nice.
Yeah.
But I would be a little bit up. I now feel like I should just carry the old ones with me at all times, just to be made sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even plan on ever playing in the tournament level, really. Like, maybe just the store championships, but that's it. Because I don't want to, like, have to, like, dig out my old, like, cardboard ones that are, like, bent or broken or whatever, just to make FFG happy. Like, I'm just gonna play to play for fun. So
Well,
if FFG doesn't exactly like that I'm using like an acrylic or a plastic range ruler or movement dials because they're tougher, like, and won't get bent in like a box or something, then it's uh it's too bad. I'm just gonna play for fun.
yeah, like.
Well, and I mean,
Then I've only
that's
played
the thing.
Yeah,
Completely okay with that because there's more than enough people that are playing at the various levels that you doing what you want to do isn't really going to affect the tournament scene.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know, the other thing too is that at the store championship level, things are still extremely casual compared
Oh
to
yeah.
up. I mean, even with the couple store championships that I did this year, there was, I mean, really the only thing that they were strict on was time. Was making
oh
sure
yeah.
that everybody is getting the same fair amount of time to play, and with the matches ending and everything. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and what
It
is like the
the
time limit now?
tournaments 70. It's normally 75-minute rounds.
Ah, because like I've heard like it was like 90, like whatever, like 2 hours. Like I've heard all sorts of things, so I'm just like, what is the official time limit now?
I'm
Um,
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's still 75.
Okay.
I
Which
might be able
which
to find
is
it.
which is good. Which is good though, because like even when you're playing casual, like limit your game. Like one thing is to limit your games to that amount of time, and you'll find yourself playing faster. Thinking faster, quicker on your feet. The other thing too is in a situation where if you didn't have that time limit, you'd only be able to play one game. You could fit two games in the allotted time that you and your friend want to play. So and then that's double the practice. So just something to consider, even using an exhibition side. Like I'll take my phone, and I'll tell the guy, all right, we're starting now. Like you get everything set up, and then you take your phone, put the timer on, 75, boom boom, and there you go. You're off to the races with an easy clock.
And
Yeah.
you are correct about the 75 minutes, but it can be a minimum of 60 and a maximum of 90.
Okay.
Minimum of 60. But its standard is
Standard
all right.
75. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's just something good to think about doing when you guys are running your exhibitions, even with friends or local players. At the thing is, hey, I'm gonna put on a timer of 75 minutes, and that way we get some good practice here. It'll be,
All right.
we think a little quicker.
Yeah. And I
Well,
mean, I've only gotten a few like actual games like in like between my friends, and then the one time I actually managed to make it up to the X-Wing game night up at that store. Um, so like I just kind of play until the game is done, until like either all the ships are off the board or an objective is achieved or what. Because
oh yeah.
I'm still kind of learning as I go. Like I don't really know how to exactly use bomb tokens correctly unless it's the proximity ones. So like I'm still like learning how to use those. I'm still like learning how to use like torpedoes and all that. Like not really, but I mean like ion tokens.
Oh
Like I'm
yeah.
just still learning. So I just play until it's over.
All right. Like where I play at Heroic, pretty much everyone's willing to let everyone get a second chance, and like I'm always like, okay, how does this? And I don't know about your groups that you play with, but where I play, it's very like everyone wants you to learn. And they'll
Yeah.
let you try something like if you made a bad maneuver, they'll let you try it again just so you can get experience. And it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing with like my friend who couldn't make it to the podcast up at his house for his birthday weekend or something, and he was like even letting me like kind of like make sure I wasn't gonna bump my ships by kind of like mapping out like my things beforehand. Like I wanted to like make a turn, but I wasn't sure if I had to make a sharp or a bank to not bump.
Uh,
So he was actually like kind of letting me just like kind of like just see.
that's something I don't want to anymore. It just feels cheap. Like being
I
able
know.
to pre-measure. That's the one thing I feel like I'm fine without being like I'm fine without. I want to have to judge it myself. I don't want to. It's just what I want. That's the first thing I feel like that once you can understand the huge difference between a bank and a sharp turn, the sooner like you'll be able to you'll be able to roll better.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, I've said this before, maybe not so much in this podcast, but, like, in the chat group, that I'm not the best pilot. I never claim to be the best at anything. I just know I'm not the best pilot. So, I mean, mapping out this at times beforehand is something that's good for me. Like, I mean, I've only done it
Okay.
that one time. Uh, and so just to like map it out, make sure I'm not gonna bump. Actually, like doesn't slow down the game at all, really, and it just if anything, it speeds it up.
Oh yeah, I've moved on. Yeah, I've moved on from that mostly because I'm rather taking some chances with it, just because that will give me better because whenever I see something, I have a better chance of remembering what happened. So if I remember, I think I'm in a situation like this, and if I do this, they'll collide, stuff like that. If I
Yeah,
make
it's like
a
the way
mistake, I'm more likely.
the way I learned and the way that I teach as well is that if you kind of have to live with your mistakes because that's how you learn.
Yeah,
But like what we would do is let's say you had a situation where you were unsure of whether or not you were going to do a three bank or a three hard, and so you make the decision, because like this is what we would do is you would make the choice on your dial, and then you would have to accept whatever the choice you made. But it's like what if it would be like, hey, like let me just see where I would end up if I had chosen the other one.
yes,
And like sometimes you'd end up on the rock, and sometimes you wouldn't. And that's just kind of how it's like. Well, damn, it's like next time I know that I need to do the three hard, and then the three bank, you still do that move, and you're on the rock, and that's just it is what it is. The other thing that we would do is it would be like if you forgot your action,
Oh yeah, I've done that
give
a
you
lot.
the do over one time. You get the okay. You know what? I know you said I know you forgot to do the action with that ship.
one Vulcan.
I'm gonna let you. It's like I'm gonna let you do that, but you got to remember it because because that's how you learn.
Yeah,
Because not taking that action and having a consequence where it's like, oh, you would have focused and then you rolled all eyes, and then now what? Too bad, you don't have that focus token because you forgot to do your action. That is your fault,
Live and
and
learn.
that's how you
Live and
learn.
learn.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's how you learn.
I always remember to like put my actions on before like the attacking stuff, but like I have the tendency to move all my ships then put the actions on them, and like so far no one's had a problem with that. But
It
I mean,
could be an issue, but not like
Well, like I mean, it depends. I mean, like let's say, for example, you're flying a tie swarm of 4 ships, and they all have the same pilot skill, and they all go back to back. In the thing, in the grand scheme of things, if I say, okay, I'm flying them in formation, so they're all going to do 2 straights. Well, you can flip all those dials at
yeah,
and you just let your opponent know, okay, like they're all going to do 2 straights and they're all going to focus this turn. Like
yeah,
it's not a big deal to then do that move, and do all that. Where the the main difference though comes where if you decide that, oh, one of these ties are going to barrel roll, if it's a movement action where something's going to move, well, you need to do that. You need to do that barrel roll first before you move anything else, because
yeah,
because that ship needs to be in a final position before this other ship moves and may possibly run
oh,
into it. Or if you decide that you want to barrel roll with that second ship may not be able to barrel roll now, or like to one direction, because the other ship barrel rolled in a spot.
yeah,
It's a very it's a very logical thing when you're talking
yeah.
about grouping ships and doing
yeah,
doing their actions together. Um, ultimately, if
Where
your
you're
opponent
flying.
if your opponent is okay with it, because if your opponent says, well, it's like, I know that would save us time, but I would feel more comfortable if you are if you are doing your ship moves and actions one at a time. Well, you need to respect your opponent at that
Yeah.
point and just do them one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
it's not so much the movement like actions that I forget to do. It's just like putting down the tokens.
Focus.
Yeah. Like I'll probably just like move like my fire spray and my tie interceptor, and it's like before we like while like my opponent's like moving his ships or whatever, um, that like and these two are like both focused. No one seemed to have really had a problem with that like with me.
Yeah.
Cause,
It'll like
'cause-
Tyrant was saying, it'll matter on the opponent. I
yeah,
wouldn't have an issue, but
I don't think
like if
most
it's
people would.
enough that, well, would probably mind. I would only mind if it's like, say we're separated by like maybe we have it so I go, you, then I go, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Then I would get annoyed because
yeah,
like the advantage of, oh well, I'll take a evade instead, that kind of stuff. I would be more annoyed.
yeah. I mean, I understand that, like, but like I usually always go with a focus token because the dice results. I mean, they're either with you or they're against you. So
Or you could take an evade if
Well,
you're
ultimately, you have to respect the pilot
yeah,
skill order of things.
yeah,
uh, to what Pugs was saying. That's basically what it comes down to. Because if I've got a TIE fighter formation that maybe it has two TIE FOs and two regular TIE
two
fighters, and
touch.
the two TIE fighters are Academy pilots at 1, and the two TIE FOs are aces at 7 and 8. Now you're looking at you're basically looking at an order where you need to do them one at a time.
yeah,
Like even the academies, you can move them at the same time, like in that situation. But again, it really just comes down to what in the movement. Um, in the end, it's safer. It's safer for you too, as newer pilots, to do your moves one at a time, because then you're not going to forget your actions either.
yeah,
And then the more you learn and the more you get used to playing, you know that, okay, well, my 4 TIE fighter group is with all 5 straights and focus tokens. So you just let the opponent know that, and okay, I'm going to start moving and do all that and give them focus tokens, and and while you're doing that, now they're able to kind of start their turns.
Without
Because there's
worrying.
there's there's like, you've already declared that you are going to 5 straight and focus, and that is what you're doing. So it kind of saves time, but again, that's when you have more skill, when you have more experience, and you're used to the game. You don't have to sit there and process all. It
yeah,
becomes natural to you.
yeah. And speaking of time, we've pretty much reached ours. So until next
All
time,
right.
keep them flying.
Well,
Yep,
I
fly
say
safe, guys.